CQDX, CQDX, CQDX. This is Havana calling. CQDX, CQDX, CQDX. This is Radio Havana calling all shortwave listeners and radio amateurs. Welcome to... DXers Unlimited, Radio Havana's weekly feature dedicated to the fascinating world of radio communications.
Hi, mis amigos radio aficionados all around the world, especially those of you that are going to take part in the upcoming high-frequency band amateur radio contest to take place during the spring equinox. Welcome to this edition of DXers Unlimited, Radio Havana Cuba's twice-weekly radio hobby program. I'm on the air as Arnie Coro, Radio Amateur CO2KK, now ready to share with you about 10 to perhaps 11 minutes of on-the-air time on the World Wide Web, also via www.radioac.cu. By the way, we are on the web, again, streaming audio from 0605 to 07 UTC from the website located at www.radioac.cu. Now, a short break. This is DXers Unlimited, and recent comparisons between solar cycle 23 and the previous one, cycle 22, that went through the period of meteor activity around 1996-97, are proving very interesting results. Scientists are now once again puzzled with what was the phase happening at solar cycle 24 and its final phase of minimum activity known by scientists as the nadir. That's the opposite of the peak of the period solar cycle. Solar researchers never expected that the average number of sunspots during solar cycle 23 went as low as it did during the unusually another extended period of minimum solar activity between cycle 23 and cycle 24. That's happening between 2008 and 2009. More about a look to November of 2010. We go back to November of 2010 solar forecast and how it had to be changed later. Here and now is item 2. It had to be changed because forecasts were not accurate. Worldwide amateur radio contests to take place during the spring equinox, as usual during the equinoctial period, but participation is expected to be low or less than average due to the extremely flat solar activity in progress now at the end of solar cycle 23. Nevertheless, you may be able to pick up some really nice DX stations operating from exotic locations, like for example the Galapagos Islands or the new DX entities in the Caribbean. Item 3, our technical topic section is now on the air with information about a rather unusual radio frequency detector using light-emitting diodes of different colors that require the use of very high local oscillator injection voltages, something that gives the circuit a unique property of handling very strong signals at the input. Green color light-emitting diodes, as well as blue ones, have already been tested at my workshop here in Havana under experimental conditions of the detector, feeding a signal from a very nice signal generator that I owned for many years. And I will be also testing another broadband double band mixture using white color blue emitting diodes that require between 3.2 and 3.8 voltage to open up. The flow detector circuit is used followed by high-gain, low-noise audio amplifier that has a variable gain setting with a range between 5 and 50 decibels from the signal level. When the light-emitting diode flow detector is connected to a radio frequency tuned circuit, and that circuit is coupled to an antenna, we have a very special direct conversion receiver with a unique feature of handling very strong input signals without overloading. Item 4 of the weekend edition coming up after a short break in our popular section of the program, Ask Arnie. Answering your question on the air and also directly to your email address if you send it to me. Stand by for a few seconds now, amigos. This is Radio Havana Cuba. The name of the show is DXers Unlimited. The no Formula 1 of our Ask Arnie section of DXers Unlimited, answering a radio hobby related question sent by good listener Aurelio from Guatemala City. Aurelio asked what he can do to reduce the extremely high noise level he's picking up with his two radios. Our frequencies range from 100 kilohertz and up to 25 megahertz. He adds, Aurelio adds also that above 25 megahertz, the noise level goes abruptly down on both radios, the small portable and the tabletop. These are radio receiver, very modern one, but I can't with, by the way. Radio has tried several antennas, and he tells me that so far he hasn't been able to listen to weak stations on the international shortwave bands, not the amateur bands also. And I quote this from his email, the quotation. Arnie, only the most powerful broadcast stations are able to go through the very high noise level at my home QTH. The weak ones simply can't be heard at all. Now, answer. Amigo Radio, you may want to try a unique antenna that has rested here during high noise level results. High noise level input conditions with excellent results. It is also not too difficult to homebrew, and you can even know the most powerful noise sources by turning it around looking for a minimum or null. This type of antenna is known as a receiving magnetic loop antenna, and is nothing more than a big or one or two turn tuned circuit tuned by a variable circuit capacitor, one single turn coil, to which another smaller loop is coupled for coupling purposes. The circuit diagram of this type of antenna may be represented as a standard parallel tuned circuit with a link or one turn link for coupling to your radio. A typical receive-only magnetic loop can be built in a few hours. It will cost almost nothing, and you can use it indoors, right next to your radio receivers without any problems. You are not transmitting at all. Because this type of antenna requires constant tuning to change the operating frequency of the receiver by just a few kilohertz, you must retune the antenna, pick it again. It's rather cumbersome, but it works very well. Provides an additional radio frequency filter. This is DXers Unlimited, transmitted by Radio Havana Cuba via shortwave. The 60 meters tropical band frequency of 5040 Khz. By the way, excellent night band coverage of all Latin North America on 5040 Radio Havana Cuba, 60 meter band tropical frequency. There are also, as stated above, our internet streaming audio from www.radioac.cu, plus several FM broadcast band frequencies that are covering areas of Western Cuba and the Isle of Youth south of Cuba. Yes, amigos, solar activity will finally going to start moving up sometime now, slowly first and intermittently, but still moving up. We no longer will watch three many days without a single sunspot, as I just will come through a period of more than 25 days without a single sunspot in sight. Many days of the black sun with the microwave solar plugs. The measurements reaching bottom low figures that were not seen by scientists in many years. That will hopefully be no longer happening. It's going to improve, definitely. As a matter of fact, some solar researchers now believe that something is really changing 93 million miles away from the Earth at the sun location. As solar cycle 25 is now moving slowly up, very slowly, but it's moving up. So the dreadful question of a possible beginning of yet another Maunder minimum is now no longer asked by scientists. It may not happen. The Maunder minimum was the name of a period, a very long period of extremely low solar activity that happened between the years 1645 and 1715. A period of a bit more than 70 years in a row, with a duration of only 6 consecutive solar cycles that had an extremely duration of 11.1 years, and minimum activity at that time. The British astronomer Edward W. Maunder, born in 1851, who died in 1928, was the discoverer of that extended period of extremely low solar activity. When he went through records, he analyzed the records of past solar optical observations at the Greenwich Observatory. Maunder found out that during one 30-year long period, within a bit more than 70 years, a very low activity solar astronomers were able to count only about 50 sunspot overall for that extended period of 50 years, 30 years and 30 years, while the normal count for 3 typical consecutive solar flux is within a range of 40 to 50,000 spots, a 1,000 to 1 ratio. The amount of minimum concerns with the new and the coolest part of the so-called Little Ice Age experienced by Europe, during which both Europe and also North America and perhaps much of the rest of the world were subjected to bitterly cold winters. It may be connected with the very low solar activity by some cause and effect. So amigos, for us radio Havana enthusiasts that are dependent on solar activity in order to be able to enjoy shortwave propagation conditions that open up on the higher frequency band, that is, those above 20 MHz, the recently left behind solar minimum has already had significant effects, with extended periods of very poor propagation on high frequency bands, with the nighttime maximum of frequencies, some days not even reaching above 6 MHz. The band above 6 MHz completely dead for ionospheric propagation. Amazing, but it has happened and still happening in the past several days. Amigos, we do QSL, we do verify reception reports of our listeners, and we send a nice, beautiful QSL card upon receiving your detailed reception reports, which include the date, the time, the frequency, and some details of program content. Send us in reports to Echo November Echo Tango in phonetics enet.cu or via our mail to Arnicoro, Radio Havana Cuba, Havana, Cuba. And now we go to DXers Unlimited propagation update and forecast. Poor propagation conditions expected during the few upcoming several days due to extremely low solar activity period in progress.
And that's all for today. This is Arnicoro, Radio Amateur 2KK, your host here at Radio Havana's DXers Unlimited, saying 73 and very good DX.
Thanks, Arnie Corro, CO2KK, the professor. He has DXers Unlimited twice a week on the weekends and the midweek edition right here on Radio Havana Cuba with DXers Unlimited.